I'm Benike and I'll be reading 10 Years. It's been 10 years. 10 long years since she last saw his face. 10 long years since she saw his smile and looked deep into his eyes. 10 long years. And in 4 weeks, she'll finally be back by his side. Elizabeth, shouted Maria from the next room. Did you already grab your suitcase? Walter's waiting for us. Maria was her elder sister, who'd be joining her for the long journey back to the southernmost tip of Africa. She loved her sister, her rosy lips and cheeks, the dark brown hair that stretched on her back, her firm eyes that kept hidden the horrors of the last 10 years. Maria was also the reason she was here. 10 years ago, when Maria was ready in Germany, she sent her sister countless letters of love and adoration. She missed her so much. So when their mother persuaded Elizabeth to take the journey to spend a few months with her sister, there was no objection. Little did she know that, soon after, war would break out, leaving her stuck in a foreign country, away from her parents, away from her friends, and away from the man that she loved. The last 10 years were filled with uncountable horrors, but that was all in the past now. The ship would be leaving soon, and the two sisters would be on their way back home. I'm just shutting it. I'll be there now, Elizabeth shouted back. She fit her whole life into that one suitcase. There wasn't much. She remembered the day she first arrived, fresh off the boat, her maiden voyage, young and bright-eyed, with golden curls, and all the pretty dresses that were ready to be worn and danced in, with the enthusiasm of a child seeing the world for the first time. None of those dresses remained. The rags she was wearing now, and they were rags indeed, were all they had left. But at least she had something to wear, and at least she was still pretty, despite the hardships that had wrinkled her face. But she filled her suitcase with photos of her family, her teddy bear Otto, and Lisa, the porcelain doll that she always kept by her side, and a few presents for the family. She shut the suitcase and glanced around the empty room one last time. They were lucky that the house was still standing, but they had missed the worst of it. And yet she had spent so little time in the sunny room, and so much time in the bunker below. She shook her head in an effort to shrug off the thoughts. Those days were gone now. They were finally gone. And she smiled, knowing that they had lived through the worst, and the better days were coming. Elizabeth grabbed her suitcase and met her sister in the entrance foyer. Maria put her arm around Elizabeth and hugged her tightly. They stared out over the bare apartment, neat and pretty and safe. This home had kept them safe, but they were only too glad to leave it behind them. They heard a hooter, reminding them of the outside world. Go on, said Maria, and opened the door for her sister. They both looked back one more time, and then she shut the door behind them. They walked down the stairs in silence, the memories echoing back at them from the dusty walls, the darkness of the past threatening to haunt them with every step they took. But the sunlight already streamed in when they reached the bottom, and Walter's warm smile greeted them. He walked up to them, greeted both of the sisters with a kiss on the cheek, and carried their suitcases to the trunk of the car. He was lucky to be well off, and he was lucky to know these two beautiful souls. He'd miss them, for sure. Nothing cements relationships as firmly as overcoming adversity. But he knew how much they were looking forward to going home. Ready? He asked, holding the door to his car open for them. Ready? Maria smiled at Elizabeth. She took one last glance up at the building that they had called home, and her eyes darted to the second-floor window that was her own. The golden sunlight shimmered off the reflective surface, illuminating only the light of days to come, and shutting out the darkness that was kept within those walls. Yes, I'm ready. Let's go, replied Elizabeth, and she stepped away from her past. Sitting in the car, she knew that the long journey back was just around the corner, and soon, so soon, she would be back in the arms of her parents and her long-lost love, and then every day would be okay again.